Hi Maarten.
Hi Patrick, hello.
So we're at the beginning of day 2 of the Agile Portfolio, Agile Business Agility workshop here at VX Company. Well, thanks for organizing it. And so
You're welcome, good to have you here. It's been the first perfect day, and I think the second day will be as good as as the first one was.
So one theme that we announced as a core team for Agile Portfolio Management is the theme of liquidity. Oftentimes when we talk about agility, the focus is on collaboration, on autonomous teams, maybe on iteration learning. One theme that has not been addressed that much, and I think that if we talk about scaling agility, is looking at the portfolio level. One theme that needs to be addressed is the theme of liquidity.
Yeah, true.
So we announced this kind of as a main theme for the 2 days. And how do you create liquidity in an organization? How do you match supply and demand? And then yesterday, most of the time we spent in terms of how do you create more liquidity in the team, staff liquidity.
Yeah, in true.
But then by the end of the day, we started talking about how do you create liquidity, how do you create optionality on the demand side.
Yeah, true.
So how do you make sure that you have more possibilities of matching supply and demand?
Yeah, and I think it was what we also saw was that, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges of portfolio managers is how can we shape demand and how can we make sure that the liquidity on staff side is matched with liquidity of demand side, so supply and demand shaping. And I think what we try to bring across to the people, to the portfolio managers, is that it's important to think about seeing the whole. So talk about it with everybody and have it in one portfolio, but make sure that not to start things that cannot be finished.
Yeah.
And that we see a lot is that a lot of things get started but cannot finish because we miss people or parts of the
or teams that are not ready to start. If you have multiple teams involved.
Yeah.
And so, any cases that you encountered in your practice?
Yeah, it's very interesting. And it isn't a big company. It's I think when we started there, they were about 30 or something, and now I think they're about 60, but they're a bit bigger. They grew, and what we saw there was as a Winkle, was a marketing research company, and it was a bit of IT, but not much. It was a non-IT organization. And what we saw there is after the first steps, they implemented a Kanban approach.
Okay.
They did daily stand-ups, and they started with only 3 stand-ups a week.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
3 stand-ups a day.
And then the teams asked for more because they had a whole weekend and 2 days not working with each other, so they mismatched that, and so they thought we want more stand-ups. And after 2 to 3 months, sales got engaged in the stand-ups. And after that they got replenishment meetings, but because they got engaged in the stand-up meetings, they saw what the supply was able to do. So the delivery Kanban, let's say, and they could match their requests of customers on that supply side. And what they did was temporizing some customer and temporizing favoring other customers, and so they started shaping their demand, and suddenly you got a good flow within the system, and I think within 6 months they had like 60% of higher revenue.
Okay, and so they started shaping the demand in terms of temporizing, so taking control of the timing in the upstream.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's really cool because when I'm talking about upstream Kanban, this is one thing that I want to really bring across through triage.
Yeah. Cool. That's today is going to be part of it.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, and we're going to simulate it, of course.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. Thanks.
See you again.